everybody, how is it going? My name is Lucas and welcome to another episode of Amps of the Axe FX3. Today, we are going to be checking out 6 different flavors of the Friedman Brown Eye. So in the Axe FX3 itself, or whatever fractal unit you are using, we have the Friedman Brown Eyes and we have the Hairy Brown Eye. We are going to be checking out just the BE portion of it. We have 6 different ones that we are going to run through. I'll kind of explain things a little bit and then I'll jump right in, play a bunch, and then we'll talk back at the end. So what I'm going to be using, we're going to be using the Friedman Brown Eye, of course. I'm going to be changing the drives from each one and try to dial them in a little bit different. And I'm going to show you what it sounds like on a bunch of different IRs. I have some greenbacks in here. I have some V30s. We're going to get a bunch of different sounds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it right out. We're going to start off with the Brown Eye 2010. This is the Marsha era. This is basically it's pretty much like the first Brown Eye that Dave ever made. He called it the Marsha, but Marsha got mad at him, so he had to change the name of it, so he called it Brown Eye and Hairy Brown Eye, if you can kind of pick up on the symbolism there. And then we're going to have the other channels are going to be modeled after the 2018 version of the Friedman. Alright guys, let's jump right in. Gonna play for you. Let's start with the drive off. This is pretty much gonna be my EQ. I might forget to show it off to you. I will have this patch on iExchange if you want to check it out. Alright, I know I've been talking a lot. Let's roll right in with some playing. Oh, using my DeVell, gonna be in drop C, and I have some Bare Knuckle War Pigs as the pickups. Now that we have gone on a very long tour of the BEs, guys, if you're only here for the playing, I really do appreciate it. If you can stick around for me talking, I really do appreciate that too. If you're leaving, leave me a like on the way out, really appreciate it. So let's discuss all of these brown eyes. So previously in the Axe Effects, we kind of had a hodgepodge of brown eyes. What happened was Cliff kind of modeled them. Cliff is the guy who owns Fractal, he's a CEO. The way they were modeled was they did the Marsha in there. They had the BE and the HBE Marsha was in there. And then they had some models from Mark Day, who he works close with Cliff and does some videos and stuff. I think he works for, yeah, he actually does work for Fractal. I believe he does, because he's always in the forums and stuff. They modeled Mark's brown eye, and then they also had a newer brown eye, which was like the 2018 one. So we had like it was kind of overwhelming the amount of models we had. But recently, I don't remember what format it is, but they changed some names and they kind of redid everything. So basically, all we have now is we have the 2010 Marsha ones, and then everything else is the latest one, which I believe it's like 2018. That is the one that it's modeled off of, which it's kind of nice now because everything's kind of a little bit more cohesive. It was kind of insane before. We have 6 different models of each, so we have like 12. It's technically only 1 amp. I don't know if you guys know that, but the brown eye is a channel. The amp itself is called the Friedman brown eye, and then there's the brown eye channel, and then there's the hairy brown eye. It's kind of like the brown eye is kind of lower gain, and the HB is kind of higher gain, kind of on different channels, just to kind of clear that up. And as you roll through this, I'm just going to explain if you don't exactly know. So the C45, it's kind of like a bright switch. Reading the wiki to see exactly what this does, it just kind of makes things, I don't want to say brighter, but it changes some things around, and it makes things a little cleaner, a little bit brighter. This one is, people love this one. They a lot of people for the HBE, they'll load it up on like everything's on new, and it sounds great on the default setting. And then the remaining 3 is just the different voice switches. So you have voice position left, which this one's kind of cool. And then whenever you get to this one, as you notice, this one's actually a lot more compressed than the C45 and the Marsha. And then we have the B1 Fat. So this one gives you a lot more low mids as opposed to whenever you're on. It's the same switch position. It's just the fat switch is on here, and then we have voice 2, which is in the middle. So this is the bright one. This one to me kind of seems like the one most people will gravitate towards because it's very tone friendly. You can kind of dial in right from the rip, and so voice, it's the voice 3 all the way to the right. This one's a little bit darker. To me, it's kind of reminiscent of the fat, sort of. You get kind of like those lower mids on there. But I really do, sorry, my thing was at the top. I really do like this one too. This one's very interesting. So there's none that's really better than any of the other ones. It's really kind of like which ones your pickups and your guitar kind of vibe with a little bit better, and one you vibe with more, and use the ones that don't fight you whenever you're dialing in. The Marsha and the C45 are my 2 favorites. I've loved the Marsha long before they even redid this one. So they redid it and made everything modern. It's just, it kind of has this different like flavor to it. And I'm sure you've noticed this on a lot of them. I turned the bass like pretty much to 0 on all of them because the Friedmans have so much mids and so much kind of bass in those lower mids, and it's connected to the gain knob. So if you ever come on the dial list, and the very first thing I do personally is I drop the bass down, I cut the mids a little bit, and I put the treble up. That's kind of like my default starting point. And then I kind of set my gain. And you kind of have to be careful on your gain, because I'm sure you kind of heard it when I was messing with the gain or some of the other ones. Whenever you push it, whenever you're below like 3 or so, it's kind of like thin-ish. It cuts out a lot of those low mids, but as you turn it up, you can kind of hear it fill out a little bit. So you can just kind of play with it. If you want it low and you want to turn up your other knobs, you can do that. I did use different drives because some of them worked better with other ones. Some liked the Klon, other ones didn't like the Klon. And I think on this one right here, I used the Maxon. Yeah, I used the Maxon. I was experimenting with that one. The Maxon does have like a mid bump in there, but I just kind of like what it did. And I think on the fat one, I used the Precision drive. Was it this one? Yeah, so the Precision drive, you can cut a lot of the nastiness and like a lot of the low end out on there, so that's why I used it on this. It kind of tightened things up and made it a little bit clearer. and I like the way it responded. And even with the IRs, when I was going through the different ones, a lot of them sounded good. On GDD Gold Stack, these are greenbacks. I should have explained this. These are greenbacks. These are V30s and a Mesa cab. These are some more greenbacks, and this is some greenbacks and a Marshall cab. So they're pretty much kind of all the same, and I just kind of wanted to show you how different IRs affected the different amps differently. And as you can, and as you heard, some of them sounded really good with some other ones did not sound good at all. So these are all very, very, very different. But what's good about it is if you're like, okay, I want to dial in this really cool brown eye tone. So what you like I said, what you got to do, keep in mind the things you got to keep in your head. It is based off of a plexi, so go in that when you're going in with that. Just keep in mind you're gonna have a lot of those low mids, and you're gonna have kind of a lot of bass. So like I said, cut the bass and experiment with the mids. You might like them up and might push a little bit more. What I did, and I dialed everything off of the tone knob, just to kind of keep it simple. If you want to go, you can go into ideal, and you can turn on the fat and the bright. You can do whatever. You can get really deep with it and kind of get it however you want it. And then EQ wise, it's 500 and 125 are the biggest culprits on here. You're gonna find you may have to cut 125 more than what you have to do on previous amps, just because of you kind of have that, I don't say mud, but it's just those frequencies are very present whenever you are dialing in brown eyes. And this amp is actually really, really good because you can get good tones with it, and you can actually get some you can get some gent tones with it for sure, and you can get modern metal tones with it. I kind of didn't really want to go into that because whenever we do the Harry Brown Eye, I'm gonna do more on that. But this is like if you want to do like hard rock, pop punk, you can do modern metal with it too. So anything underneath that, you can do. I think that's gonna about wrap it up. Let me just kind of go through. I want to show you the drives. There's your precision on there, and then Klon on there. Oh, and I did use the precision on there. And we go down here, and I think I used Klon, and then Maxon. I used the Maxon for those too. Okay. So as you can see, if you're not getting the exact sound you're looking for, try different drives, try different IRs, experiment, go to a whole different amp. They all respond differently to different things. That's hopefully I succeeded in showing you that today, guys. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. If you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And the next episode that we're going to do, we're going to pretty much do the exact same thing, but we're going to be on the Harry Brown Eye one. So the Harry Brown Eye is just, it's more gain. It's, I think, like super overdriven Marshall is basically what it is. So it's literally all the same channels. You just have it with a little bit more gain. And that is what we're going to be checking out next time. And guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me, for watching this video. I know there's a lot of stuff out of there vying for your attention, which you chose to spend with me, and I really do appreciate it. And guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.